We dive into the dark where truth collides.
Forensic minds unravel the twisted thread. True crime tales from the living and the dead.
Why did they do it? To help, for love, in anger or insane? Who will remember them? Who is to blame? The victims deserve justice. The guilty should be until the end of time. Echoes of the past in every crime.
From the profiler's chair to the courtroom fight, we seek the reasons in the dead of night.
Motives buried deep in hearts gone cold. Stories of the broken waiting to be told. Why did they do it? To help, for love, in anger or insane? Who will remember them? Who is to blame? The victims deserve justice. The guilty should be until the end of time. Join the quest. Uncover the line.
All right, everybody. I hope that you are all doing well. If you can hear me, please put a 1 in the side chat. Enough of all that music and stuff. All right, let's get on with this because it's really not going to be a very long live because I do have some work that I have to do today. So gonna try to like get in here, talk about it, and get out because it's kind of crazy actually. Hi, Melissa Fringe. Welcome. Good to see you. Lynn, it's so great to see you. Um, so this, of course, is Tyler Robinson. Everybody at this point, unless you're living under a rock, you know who Tyler Robinson is, right? He is the very thin, very skinny, kind of tall, furry dude who is accused of murdering Charlie Kirk on September 10th of this year. So look, this happened in Utah. Okay, it happened at the Utah Valley University when Charlie Kirk was doing his normal thing he does, which is to go around to college campuses and kind of debate anyone that wants to step up to the microphone. And he was shot in the neck on September 10th. And, they claim that he instantly died. So this was a part when he was killed, he was on what was called the American Comeback Tour. And this Tyler Robinson is accused of lying on top of a rooftop, laying in wait for Charlie's to get up and start his talk. The location was approximately 145 yards away. And, there were like possibly 10,000 people there live the middle of the day watching when it happened. And so, there were a lot of eyewitnesses. Okay. So 33 hours it took the authorities to find the guy. 33 hours. So he basically just nonchalantly hops off of this low, flat roof and walks home. He disposes of the gun in the ivy somewhere, and his dad is actually the one that contacted police, very disturbed, allegedly, and said, hey, I'm worried. And if I remember correctly, the grandpa was worried about a gun that would like come apart, so it could be easily, hidden. Anyway, so the parents, the family is credited with, ending what was really a long 33 hours for a kid that just walked away in a neighborhood with cameras everywhere. The whole thing was weird, okay? Look, we know in the world of YouTube true crime or even TikTok true crime that when things happen that seem curious, they seem illogical, like, for example, Kohberger, that he's able to get in a house, get out of a house, not leave any DNA anywhere, and kill 4 college students who are in excellent physical condition, strong, powerful kids, right? Everybody kept saying that's not possible. You can't. There had to have been other people involved. There had to have been somebody else there. In the case of Tyler Robinson, who is, he had his first appearance, live appearance before a judge. He had a couple appearances before that where he was on camera, but he had his first live. We got a real video of him. We could see him in action, and he's sitting there with his attorney, laughing, having a good time. He's facing charges of aggravated murder, felony discharge of a firearm, obstruction of justice, witness tampering, and committing a violent act in the presence of a child. It was actually hundreds of children that were there. The evidence against him, DNA matching Robinson, is on the supposed murder weapon. There were text messages supposedly, and people are very skeptical of this, supposedly sent by Tyler to his roommate, who was his girlfriend, confessing to the act and giving the motives for why he did it. Quote unquote, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate cannot be negotiated out. And the hate to which he is referring is specific to trans people who are transitioning from one gender to another. Charlie Kirk was very vocal about that he didn't support that, and that it was a lot of negative things. I don't want to get bogged down in the case itself, because that's not what I'm talking about today. But Tyler supposedly also left a note indicating intent that said, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and now I'm going to take it. There's also statements by mom, dad, grandpa that Robinson was quite vocal, becoming even more vocal about how left-leaning he had become, and that he had a notable dislike for Charlie Kirk. Again, his girlfriend is a person who is transitioning to female. They were also involved in this subculture, the furries. And there's a lot of these people that are acting out violently, school shooter type people that are being found to be a part of the furry subculture. And it's hard to know if that's maybe that's the avenue for messaging, the radicalization. I don't know about that. So the authorities, like Utah Governor Spencer Cox, some of the investigators, I think even Erica Kirk, to some extent, have been very vocal that Tyler Robinson acted completely alone and on a whim, like at the last minute decided to do this, right? I think that statement, I have an opportunity, quote unquote, I think those words all by themselves, they kind of make you go, what? You have an opportunity? Usually when you hear that phrase, I have an opportunity, isn't it like a job offer? Isn't it usually like a job offer or getting offered to work on a committee of some sort? So when I read that, I thought, okay, well, who gave you the opportunity? Like, what does that mean exactly? I have an opportunity. If it was just Charlie Kirk is coming to town, you could have that. You could have made that opportunity for yourself. You could have traveled, 3 hours in one direction or another and gone to a college where he was going to speak. So it's a strange thing. It's a weird comment. Does it have any specific meaning? Of course not. But I think the context that one would use that phrase, it seems a little strange. Now, and here's the point of the video. Okay, we're getting to the point now. Conspiracy theories, right? Look, I used to do wild speculation Fridays. Y'all remember that? It's a lot of fun, right? Some people don't like it. Some people get upset and they think you should only report simply the facts, Conspiracy theories can be fun. They're much like, brainstorming, if you will. And I guess as long as you do it in a respectful or responsible way, it can still be fun. I myself have not always been discerning in my speculations, and I want to really work and try to do that. But sometimes you're confronted with information and evidence that's a little hard to disregard, right? It's a little strange. It's a little hard to disregard. And we've got a new video. Well, not a new video. Brian Enton, he did several videos after this court appearance. And this is the evidence you can't ignore. So we can still do wild speculation Fridays on Saturday, if you will. But we're going to bring a little bit of like fact to the table that kind of makes your eyebrow go up, right? Or maybe both eyebrows go up. It's the Lauren Matthias effect. It's the what the hell effect. Okay. Now I'm not going to say I know what this means, because I do not. What I am saying is, damn, this is kind of weird. Okay. There's some real weird things. And the fact that you have Spencer Cox, the governor of Utah, and other people coming out saying he acted on his own, he acted on his own, he acted on his own. It's a little strange. We haven't really seen that before. Okay, so why are we seeing it now? Is it the Candace Owen effect? Perhaps, maybe, I don't know. But she was right about Emmanuel Macron and his lovely bride, wasn't he? I mean, wasn't she? So it's a little, I don't know. I'm just feeling a little something about this. There are several pretty big conspiracy theories that have emerged since the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Many of those theories have been fueled by political polarization, I guess I should say, left against right or whatever. Some is just normal social media, your general professional conspiracy theorists, that they can take anything and turn it into a conspiracy, theory. I get that. But there's some kind of strange things in this newest video by Brian Enton. So, probably the one that we all expected, Tyler Robinson did not do this alone. That's one of the conspiracy theories, just like with Kohberger. He did not do this alone, or he was framed. He didn't do it at all. We heard that with Kohberger too. People just wanted to ignore evidence, but nevertheless, we're getting the same thing with Tyler Robinson. He either didn't do it at all, he was framed, or he did not act alone. Others helped him. The question is, okay, well, if he was framed, then who in the world would frame him? Okay, well, we got your general, the Mossad did it, because that's been here for 50, years. The Mossad did it, or people within Kirk's own organization did it. It was an Iranian conspiracy that included Egyptian special forces no, I'm wrong. The Egyptians are trying to kill Candace Owen. See, this is the problem with conspiracy theories, okay? You can get confused real easy. And then we get into this. Well, what about our own government? What about what about our own political parties? The deep state, if you will, the Illuminati, whomever they may be. What about that? So all of these conspiracies, whether you're in Israel or you're in Iran or you're in Washington D.C., they all require that there is a broader network of, I guess you'd consider like professionals that are orchestrating these hits, if you will, like quotation marks, the hit, right? So Candace Owens herself said the United States military was involved, and that doesn't mean the United States military official channels did it. It's more like there were assets coming out of the military training, those assets being like mercenaries, paid warriors, right? And maybe they reached out to Tyler Robinson, gave him the training, gave him the plan. Was that the opportunity of which Tyler spoke? It's kind of crazy that perhaps the government, using these secret military assets, manipulated Tyler to do this thing or helped him do this thing. So in order that Charlie Kirk wouldn't tell what he knew about Israel, or he wouldn't tell what was going on with Iran, or any of the crazy stuff that they say. Okay, it's a lot. It's all kinds of stuff. Terrorist networks, political parties. I don't know. I'm not here to even get in your mind. I don't even have a belief. My belief is a little country boy who grew up hunting with grandma and grandpa got lucky. In reality, all things being equal, the simplest explanation tends to be the most accurate, right? The roof was very low to the ground. It was quite flat. It was not secured as it should have been. And he just so happened to have the right rifle that he'd gotten as a birthday gift, if I remember correctly. And he's a good shot. He's a hunter. It's crazy, right? But then you got these other folks, and they have some other, other information. And I don't want to go into the specifics because that's not what this is about. What this video is about is Brian Enton, the things in one of his newest videos, and I'm going to put the link to the video so you can watch the whole thing. Let me put it in the side chat. Paste. All right, so there is the link to this actual video that I'm going to place a few little bits out of. everyday hunters say there is no way that was a 30-06 round. We could get into these arguments, these debates about the various conspiracy theories. That is not what I want to talk about. This is not, I thought it was his grandpa's gun. Okay, so see, I'm not even like in these conspiracy theories. I know they're out there. I know that I thought that it was a gift. I thought that the grandpa gave him the gift, and then grandpa said, "Oh my God, the gun is gone." And this was a gun that could actually be disassembled a bit, so that all guns can be disassembled, but it's designed to sort of break into two pieces to make it easier to carry, right, to transport. So supposedly, and you know, if you remember on that day, there was like some security picture of the assassin in a stairwell, perhaps. So maybe grandpa saw that picture and he said, "Wow, that looks an awful lot like Tyler." And then he got nervous and he went and looked at the, you know, he went and looked in the gun safe. And then he said, "Oh my God, the gun's gone." But my understanding was it was a gifted firearm. Okay, so Kat says that is correct. Okay, thank you, Kat. Appreciate that. It's so cray, Lynn. It is. I agree with you. And I find it a little surprising too, because, you know, most kids that grow up hunting, they're in a hunting family. The very first thing that is drilled into their head is safety. Like, you have to do that. Safety. And I have always said, I feel much safer around kids that were raised with guns, so that they have a respect for them and they know how to secure them properly and they know how to keep everybody safe, how to empty the chamber, all those things. Than someone who just, you know, is an adult and getting a gun for the first time. I think that is a much more dangerous situation. So, you know, he was a hunter, and that means he was a good shot. A 30-06 at that distance, that's a little questionable for the wound, right? So it's hard to know. I don't know, but let's look at a little bit of Brian Enton's video, because there's some weird things in this. Brian, you got some weird things on camera, dude. Let's listen.
It was the first time that we were actually able to see him for ourselves. And he was brought here from the jail to the courthouse in downtown Provo.
And having a great time.
Security, I've covered a ton of high profile cases. I have never seen security like what I saw here. Did
you hear him? He had never seen or heard of security at a trial like this ever before. That is so interesting. Usually, these so-called political assassins, they don't even make it to trial, do they? Normally, they don't even make it to trial. Either they're killed on the spot, or there's a quick plea deal and they go off to prison for the rest of their lives. So the very fact that Tyler is planning on fighting for his innocence, that's kind of curious.
Surrounding Tyler Robinson. And I had interviewed the sheriff and undersheriff, I think it's been like a month or two ago, and they told me, like, we're not taking any chances. And man, they did not take any chances. I mean, they had
snipers downtown, all around the building. Snipers. What? Huh? Isn't that wild? It's so crazy. Like, who exactly are they protecting? I think they're trying to protect Tyler Robinson. That's who I think they're trying to protect, because, you know, Lee Harvey Oswald looms large, right? These political assassins, they do seem to be very accident prone.
Had snipers up on the roof, which I got a couple of photos of, all on different sides of the courthouse. When they closed down the roads around the courthouse, when Tyler...
So they closed the roads. They place snipers. And you're going, wait a minute, there's not a VIP here. Like, what are you doing? Put a bulletproof vest on him and rush him to the door like you do everybody. Why are you closing down roads like it's the president of the United States? Why do you have snipers out and they're all sitting there watching down all these deserted roads? Should be nobody walking, be no cars moving. It's amazing, really intriguing.
Robinson arrived, he was in this like convoy of police vehicles, including a Humvee.
Please take a look at this. For a college kid, a furry. He's a furry. You brought him to the courthouse in an armored vehicle? What? Honestly, what do you guys think? How amazing. It boo-boos roo. What the hell? What is it? Oh, it DB. This is the epitome of VIP treatment. Yeah. This is, you know what this reminded me of as I watched this? Okay. As I watched this, I thought to myself, this is like in a movie. Think about it. Like the Brinks, like armored vehicles with the gold or the bank money, and they're driving down. They've got police escort front and back and sides, right? And then the bad guys come in and they blow up a bomb, and then they rush in and they take the money and the gold out of the armored vehicle. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? I'm watching this. I'm going, just a damn minute. This is a little kid who's mad because his transitioning girlfriend is being smack talked by Charlie Kirk, and he goes and gets a gift from his grandpa. He finds a lucky spot and gets a shot. This is what you're doing? What? I bet Brian Enton was like, hang on a minute here, sister. What the hell is going on? I bet he was. Oh, your name is Sis. Sorry. He was. He was dumbfounded by what he was seeing because he's taking video of it. He's taking video and he's going, what is happening here? Because, and here's what I think, because this is very reminiscent of Lee Harvey Oswald and Jack Ruby, isn't it? Maybe they were expecting a Jack Ruby. Maybe they were expecting someone needs to silence Tyler Robinson so that we can keep our assets safe. 2 weeks old, Maria. Oh, that's so sweet. My daughter had a hard pregnancy. They're all doing well and at home now. Congratulations, Maria. That's wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And happy birthday, baby Zoe. I love the name Zoe. It's so beautiful. Okay. So, why are all the stories weird these days? Well, I'll have you know, DB, this cost an incredible amount of money. This came from state resources. State resources, okay? Very curious. Just keep listening. So remember, we have multiple snipers, all sides of the building. They literally close down the roads which means you don't get to walk on the sidewalk. You don't get to drive your car. It is on lockdown. The only people moving in that confined area are the necessary personnel. That's it. Listen to this. Crazy. This is such a crazy story. Brian Enton. Wow. Good job being there, getting the only one to get this story, because this is big, in my opinion.
That, you know, you could see coming from a mile away. There were drones in the air. There was a plane in the air that was circling the courthouse.
Drones in the air and an airplane circling the courthouse. Why is the airplane circling the courthouse? Looking for bombs and electronic equipment, communications that couldn't be picked up in a normal fashion. That's what that airplane was doing there. How amazing. How utterly and completely amazing. The plane in the air makes me think federal asset. The plane in the air makes me think the feds are there too. This wasn't just state. The feds were definitely there. And you can see some undercover cops as well. I'm telling you, good job, Brian Enton. Good.
And they brought him in through an underground entrance that they had blocked off with like black tarp so that you couldn't even see that area.
Underground entrances. Riddle me this, Brian. Why in the world would they need an airplane in the sky, drones, snipers on all sides of the courthouse, especially after they had shut off all traffic to the area? If they're taking him to an underground entrance and they've got the black tarp at the entrance so you can't see anyway, you didn't even get a little peek at this man. And he's in an armored vehicle, a military vehicle. Why do you need an airplane over your head, people? Were they expecting another assassination of Tyler Robinson? What do you guys think? If I was not thinking of a CIA inside job, they sure are projecting one. Well said, sis. Yeah, this is, oh, no. Antifa? No, Moxa Nation. Antifa is small beans, not for this type of security, this type of staging, pre-planning. No. Nope. This is not Antifa. They got Antifa. You haven't seen the pictures of Antifa where they just sort of pick the skinny, long-haired, pot smokers up and toss them up over their shoulder and carry them off to the police car. They're good. They can manage Antifa. Okay, right? But my goodness. Yeah, I know, Moxa. Yeah, but this is really something. Like, this is really something. And again, I don't have a theory. I know there's a lot out there blaming any manner of people. I also know there are people that did benefit substantially through his death, but with professional people, usually someone does benefit when someone dies. There's usually a life insurance policy or a big will or whatever, right? So this is really a lot. This is really a lot. They've got an underground entrance. It is protected by black tarps. Tyler is in a military level bulletproof vehicle. I guarantee you the bottom of it is fortified against car bombs, IEDs. I guarantee you that. 2 + 2 is 113, right? The only explanation, in my opinion, is somebody needs to take Tyler Robinson out. Somebody has to silence him. However, it's not necessarily that there really is a need, right? It just means that someone thinks there is a need. There's someone out there in power who looked at this and said, I don't want another Oswald, Jack Ruby debacle in the garage. I don't want an assassin assassinating the assassin of the president of the United States. I don't want that on my watch. Now, does it mean that there really was something to fear? We don't know. But without a shadow of a doubt, it definitely means someone thought that someone needed to silence Tyler Robinson, someone with substantial abilities like CIA, like the United States military, like Mossad, that there is someone out there in power with a belief that there's another big power group who needs to silence Tyler Robinson. And remember what I said at the beginning of this video, it's a pretty unusual situation when one of these assassins goes to trial. They just don't go to trial. They either die or they make a plea deal and disappear forever. So what's happening here? You get a regular citizen being whisked away by transport in Air Force Two. The whole thing was so crazy. It remains crazy. And again, man, Brian Entin, this is the story, Brian. What you captured here, the amount of assets that were used to keep this guy from being assassinated himself, not by a bunch of furries. I think Tyler got lucky. That's one moment in time he got lucky. But no, these people live in these alternative lifestyles. They don't have that kind of training and skill, and unless there's military that somehow has influence over them, can teach them or whatever, right?
And so that's how he got to the courthouse. I went upstairs to get in the courtroom. I was nervous that, there was only going to be limited space to get inside. They said first they said they could allow about 75 people in the courtroom. Then the number went down to about 45. Luckily,
45. They cut the number of people going into the courtroom by half. And there were all kinds of guards in the actual courtroom, more than he had ever seen before. And then they start the proceedings. There's a camera there. They start the proceedings, and the judge says, we have to lock down the courtroom. So we'll let 45 people in, and then y'all have to get out immediately before anything was said or done. Come in, get your picture, get your little video clip of Tyler, and then you get out, get gone. And normally when that happens, the lockdown is one subject. It'll be a little 30 minutes, and then the bigger open hearing begins. No, 2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours. No observer in the courtroom at all. Listen to this. Not even Tyler's mom and dad. They were made to leave as well. What is going on in Utah, people? What is going on in Utah? So please, here's the link one more time. I invite you to go to Brian Entin's channel, watch this entire video, see his other videos on that day regarding the court hearing, what he learned. Go look, but never forget underground entrance, black tarps, drones in the air, airplane circling the courthouse, snipers, multiple snipers on all sides of the courthouse. The roads closed down, so there's no traffic, not even walkers. Someone believes that someone very crafty and powerful wants to silence Tyler Robinson. Who is it? Is Tyler the patsy? Is Tyler talking? Is Tyler saying, this is the dude who trained me? What? Here's how I got my plan for that day. This is how I knew how to get up on the roof. The point here is, I don't know what happened. I'm not even pretending to know. But it is without a doubt, based on Brian Ensign's reporting, airplanes in the air, many snipers, roads shut down, a closed courtroom for 2 solid hours, underground entrance to keep anyone, even trusted individuals, away from this guy, transporting him in a military type vehicle. Someone of power and influence believes Tyler is the target of the Jack Ruby. Someone wants this guy's mouth closed shut forever. And it's kind of crazy, right?
In the shadows of the mind where secrets hide, we dive into the dark where truth collides.
Forensic minds unravel the twisted thread. True crime tales from the living and the dead.
Why did they do it? To help, for love, in anger or insane? Who will remember them? Who is to blame?
Thank you so much, Maria. I appreciate it so much.
Should be until the end of time. Echoes of the past in every crime.
And congratulations on that sweet baby. You're about to have the best time of your life with baby Zoe.
From the profiler's chair to the courtroom fight, we seek the reasons in the dead of night.
Motives buried deep in hearts gone cold. Stories of the broken waiting to be told. Why did they do it? To help, for love, in anger or insane? Who will remember them? Who is to blame? The victims deserve justice. The guilty should be until the end of time. Join the quest. Uncover the line.
Welcome to the channel where minds crimes meet the macabre. Forensic psychology and true crime lore. Subscribe and stay, let's explore the why. In the name of justice, under watchful eye.